Well, South Dakota dropped its season opener to Montana on Saturday inside the Dakota Dome by a score of 31-17. And here to unpack how it all went down is Coyote head coach Bob Nielson. And Bob, let's talk first about a couple of the main reasons that the score line turned out the way it did. And I thought first and foremost, obviously you got to talk about that Montana passing game. Very effective with Dalton Sneed. What did you see there?
Well, he's a good player. We knew that coming in. One of the top quarterbacks in FCS football returning, and they did a good job offensively after we took the run game away in the first quarter of testing us on the perimeter and using those two really talented wide receivers, combination of some formational things. And I think the disappointing thing for us is that we had chances, to get them off the field. We didn't execute very well on third down. We didn't tackle very well on the perimeter and gave them a lot of cheap yards that added up.
You mentioned third down, and it was a struggle on defense. It was also a struggle on offense. You couldn't keep the chains moving enough to keep some of those drives alive, especially toward the end of the game.
I thought going in it was going to be an offensive football game. I thought we were going to have to score 30-some points to win, and we had opportunities to do that, but our third down offense, particularly early in the game, was not very good, and so we had trouble sustaining drives. And then in the second half, when we moved the ball really well, we got down in the red zone, and when we needed touchdowns, couldn't get them.
Yeah, one field goal, one empty red zone possession. What was the specific area of execution that was lacking down there for you this week?
Well, we had some short yardage situations that we didn't convert. That was disappointing. And then, beyond that, sometimes down in the red zone, you need guys to make plays. And we had a couple of opportunities through the air where we either missed a receiver or didn't get the ball delivered correctly, but we were in a position from being behind, and you have to force things a little bit, and that's not an ideal position to be in.
Well, there's some good things that happened on Saturday too, of course, and a couple of specific things that I want to get your assessment on. First, the offensive line, obviously a huge point of emphasis for your program throughout the offseason and leading into Saturday. What do you think of their performance? Because from where I stood, they look pretty good.
Well, they're better. We knew that going in. Even though we're young there, I think we're more athletic than we were a year ago. I think that's a group that's going to continue to get better. Montana's a very multiple defense. I thought we did a good job of recognizing fronts, and we ran the ball decently. Unfortunately, when you get behind and you're forced to throw the ball a little bit more in the fourth quarter than we wanted to, your rushing numbers don't add up the way that they probably should have during the game. And I thought for the most part we protected Austin pretty well. So I think there's something to build on there for sure.
On the other side of the ball, one of the reasons Montana went to the air, and you kind of alluded to it earlier, was because you basically took the running game away entirely. Montana ended up with 28 rushing attempts, 80 total yards. Dalton Sneed, a guy who can really run the football, he carried 10 times for 11 yards. Had to be pretty pleased with what you saw there.
Well, we started out really well defending the run, and then when they transitioned and really just said, hey, we're going to quit trying to run the football and basically throw it on every down, we didn't respond quite as well. We had opportunities, and on third down particularly, whether it was to tackle the ball short of the chains or to put pressure on the quarterback, where we just didn't quite get things done. And to Montana's credit, they did a good job of making plays on third downs to keep drives alive.
To end on a high note here, and individually, what a day for Cody Case. He ties a program record with 11 catches for 144 yards, a couple of touchdowns. This is a guy that battled injury all last year, ended up having to take a red shirt as a result. How good was it to see number 6 out there doing what he's capable of doing and at 100%?
He's a special player. We knew that from the plays that he made as a freshman, and he's a year stronger, a year more physical, a guy that we need to continue to find ways to utilize in our offense.